Ellen's best friends told us she couldn't even handle a bikini whack. She had zero threshold for pain. So, how are we supposed to believe that this woman stabbed herself? Now, the medical examiner is saying 23 times. And by the way, how did that stab count change from 2011 to now?
Welcome to the global phenomenon, Surviving the Survivor. Here's your host, Emmy award-winning journalist, Joel Waldman.
What's up, SCS Nation? Welcome to Surviving the Survivor. This is the show that brings you the very best guests in all of true crime, and also arguably the oldest podcast host in the entire world. We're back today with an emotional follow-up on the Ellen Greenberg case. For those who've been following this show, know it is near and dear to my heart and what I believe to be an absolute travesty of justice. And by overwhelming demand, you can sound the Karm alarm. She is back. She is the matriarch of not just this show, but the matriarch of podcasting in this country. What kind of burden is that, Karm, for you to know that
I carry the burden bravely.
it's multi-generational. People are looking up to you as an example of what podcasting should be and that you can do it into your golden years.
Yeah,
Do you feel pressure about that?
It's not like a ballerina. You can do it at 86. How well you do it is another story, but you can do it.
Ellen, as you know, Karm, she was a very bright 27-year-old elementary school teacher in the suburbs of Philadelphia. She is found in a locked Philadelphia apartment, which is part of the trickiness, since the type of lock there, which her fiance claims he broke in, could not be intact. It's physically impossible. The medical examiner is now saying 23 stab wounds and 11 bruises in different stages of healing. Now, my good friend and yours, Gavin Fish, who's been investigating this for a long time, he looked at all the autopsy photos. He says there's something like 50 plus wounds in various stages of healing on her body. Now, the medical examiner says it's from bumping into things, incidental contact. Find that a little hard to believe. 14 years later, officials are still calling this anything but suspicious. They doubled down. They said this is a self-unaliving. On the show this week, if you missed it, we had Ellen Greenberg's, as I said, best friend, Allison Stern, two other very good friends, Erica Hamilton and Pamela Gottlieb. They knew Ellen really better than anyone. You know, a lot of times friends, especially in that 20 age range, know the person better than even the parents. And they say that she was absolutely full of life, no ideation of taking it, deeply organized, completely incapable of experiencing any kind of pain at all. Like, she just had zero threshold for pain, which is interesting because that was underscored. And their stories simply paint a picture that don't match the story that we are hearing. Now, the vast majority of people here think that there is something askew. However, there are also some people who say, well, the medical examiner ruled this is the investigation. This is the way it should be. There was never an investigation into this case. And the medical examiner, the newest one, despite the original medical examiner now coming out and saying it's anything but a self-unaliving, that is the original medical examiner, Dr. Marlon Osborne, has come out and said that this is anything but a self-unaliving, implying it could be something other than that. But yet, Philadelphia, and this medical examiner, the new one, is only using material coming from either the fiance, Sam Goldberg, or rehashed old material to what I believe is fit a narrative for the corrupt city of Philadelphia and what I believe is corrupt Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Karm?
Yes.
You were able to watch the Hulu docuseries.
Yeah, I watched all three. I watched all through
Death in
the
Apartment is 603.
through the weeks and months. I watched all the podcasts on this topic, uh, on the Greenbergs, and I flatter myself calling myself logical, and I think I'm a pretty logical person, and I don't see how logically you could unalive yourself the way they insist that Ellen unalived herself. Uh,
Carm,
it,
real quick, you might have some more homework. We might need you Sunday night as well. Dateline is airing a piece tonight, by the way, on Dan Markel. We don't know what, if any, new information they're going to reveal, but we will be doing some sort of recap show on Sunday night. So, Carm, I might have you watching.
I have a prior commitment. Saturday night. What time? Because I have it.
The show is Friday night. Sorry, the show is Friday night. Dateline. That's tonight.
Yeah, I
And
know,
then,
but the
and then
podcast.
Sunday night. We don't have a time yet. You have plans Sunday night, Carm?
Yeah,
Any chance of changing those plans or no?
I changed today.
Mm.
But in any case, I have this commitment at 5,
Mm.
and by 7 I can be free.
Carm, while I try to process the fact that you're once again rejecting me as a guest, let me just show this to the audience, and I'll gather my thoughts during this. Every once in a while I've got to get out of the studio, so I'll hit a coffee shop and I'll start working on the podcast. And I did exactly that the other day, and I started thinking, is someone reading my computer? I don't mean like actually reading, but is someone able to hack into my Wi-Fi in a coffee shop? And I realized the answer is yes. And that is exactly why I need Surfshark VPN. Surfshark VPN is sort of like wearing pants. It keeps all the important parts and makes sure that it stays private, that all your junk is kept in one place and no one is getting to it. It gives you peace of mind, and you get 24/7 customer service. There is no risk in trying Surfshark VPN, and they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go to surfshark.com, the survivor, or use the code The Survivor at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Rachel D., you're interrupting Carm's retirement flow. Carm, you for 35 plus years were a licensed, you still are, but you're a licensed therapist. You were in practice with my father, the Highland Park Center for Psychotherapy. It was once a booming business. It was a skyscraper in our hometown. Their office was actually in the basement overlooking a parking lot with Shelley's Nails next door. So every time I go to my dad, I would have to inhale the turpentine-esque smell of nail polish. And Carm and my dad work beautifully together. The only thing is Carm is a bit of a softer soul, believe it or not. My dad was all business. Carm would give out our home phone number, and then patients would call the house, and I would pick up, and all I would hear are 4-letter expletives about my father. And then my father would get incensed at my mom that he could give patients the home number, 572-5911. That was when there were landlines.
He wasn't all business. He just had a harder time dealing with anger or suicide threats than I did.
I won't name her. I will just say that there was a 4'11" Filipino woman.
I think we are digressing, and I think we have limited time.
Well, she would call the house in rage. The reason I'm bringing all this up is to just lay the foundation for the fact that you were a legit therapist. So,
what do you mean? I have my diplomas. I can send certified.
Graduate of the University of Geneva, Switzerland, and Rutgers University School of Social Work. So, Carm, Ellen Greenberg, according to her friends, in the months sort of leading up to this suspicious death is not herself. She admittedly has seen a therapist a few times. She's taking anxiety medication. I found a statistic. I believe there's 155 million Americans on some sort of benzodiazepine, some crazy number. Nicole Luongo is saying there's no offense to anyone 4'9". I'm just saying she was a very slight, small woman who used to call our house and scream at me about my dad. Look, I focus Monday to Tuesday. Friday, for anyone who's Monday to Thursday, I'm sorry, but Fridays is a wacky day, and it's going to remain a wacky day. And all that hate mail that I get about not being able to focus, and that I have.
If I can help it, I am not going to be doing wacky Friday because I don't want to be associated. Pick another day to be wacky. I refuse to be wacky.
My point is this: 155 million. Anxiety is very prevalent. That is what she was being treated for. Her friends say that there was no ideation to self-unalive herself. What do you make of that? I mean, isn't anxiety somewhat common? I know I have never suffered from it. I can't relate to it.
There are unbelievable complications in this situation. One of them is that right after her fiancé discovered Ellen's body, he brought in his uncle, and they picked up Ellen's computer, among other things that were illegal. And I am not accusing them of playing with the computer, but I accuse them that they say that on the computer there was a search about suicide, and that also complicates
Try not to use
things.
that word too much. Yeah.
Oh, unalive.
From what I understand, though, please try to avoid the S word. But from what I understand about that, Carmen, I'm glad you brought that up. It's a little unclear what those searches were. A lot of times, let's say you are searching the side effects of a certain medication, which people do. It will intuitively bring you to other searches like this, to the side effects, which could be the self-unaliving. So it's still unclear whether or not
that was one of the reasons that the people who thought of, I mean, the Philadelphia system that accused her of unaliving herself, they were basing in part on this particular finding on her computer. And later, when it was checked, the computer was checked by experts. There was no unaliving on the computer. By the way, I have a thought that will probably be making people very, very, very upset. The people who are for Ellen getting justice, they will be. I have a question that I will open now, and I would like to hear responses to it. Everything in my logic, according to the logic of it, everything seems to be leading to not self-aliving. Self-unaliving.
If she was self-aliving, that would be like the resurrection.
Yeah, that would be very good. That would be very good. Self-unaliving. Everything except, please, somebody explain to me, how long was the fiancé away in the gym? And did anybody ever look for, did he change his clothes was there a shower in the gym? Because I want to know there was a lot of blood at the scene of this or
Carm,
murder.
these are a brilliant set of questions that you're asking. And when your career in podcasting is done, I would urge you to then get a job as a part-time investigator, because these are fantastic questions. And the answer is this, because I've been fighting with people on the cesspool that is X about this. So the timeline, I don't have it right in front of me, but Ellen, first of all, Ellen leaves. It's a nor'easter, as you know, that day.
Yeah,
Right?
don't
And
go back to the weather report.
So, so, tons of snow is coming in. She stops to get gasoline for her car. She gets home and she's making dinner, which aren't exactly the hallmarks of someone who's so. I don't think dinner is the first thing on your mind if you're in such a state of mind that you're going to take your life. But that aside, what people don't understand, the timeline here begins much earlier. The death is only reported. The only things we know from inside that apartment come from Sam Goldberg, the fiance. Do you know that they both arrived home at around the 1 o'clock hour, 1:20, like 10, 15 minutes apart? They come home on that day at that time. And
Okay.
the death is not reported till sometime after 6 o'clock. So you have a 5-hour window. The only reason people think that this time of death is when it is basically because of the 911 call that Sam makes after calling his cousin and uncle. And Ellen, also to your point, has a pristine white towel in her hand with a very bloody crime scene. We don't know if Sam changed. And you know why we don't know, Carm? Ask me why we don't know.
Because there is nothing left of the.
No, because this case has never been investigated since 2011. Police came that night, ruled it a homicide, let people take crap, never cordoned it off as a crime scene, never investigated it, and now here we are in 2025. We're talking
So hold everything.
Yeah.
If we are going to be these private detectives, all kidding aside, it's a very serious matter. It means that the murder could have happened anytime after 1:20 or 1:30 when they were together in the apartment before he went down to the gym.
As they say in Hebrew, lama lo. Why not? What I don't see. I mean, I'm not a.
How come nobody ever mentions that?
Because there's a narrative out there that people seem to follow. Unless someone can tell me otherwise, I do not have any idea, any reason to believe that this could not have happened many hours earlier and reported later.
Does anybody among the people who are watching this right now have a thought about this?
Well, let us know, SCS Nation.
Very recently, till 20 minutes ago, I was also thinking that there was only a very short moment of opportunity.
No. As far as I know, no.
Anybody who was involved with this crime, no pun intended, has blood on himself. Blood on his hands and on his body, because the place is bloody.
Most gyms. That's a great question. Does the gym there have a shower?
Did they ever check? Did they ever check the gym to see if there was a bag of bloody clothes?
No. You want to know why? Ask me why.
But same reason. Same reason.
The case has never been investigated. The case has never been investigated. Where does a 5-inch gash come from? Also, they say she has no defensive wounds.
You're buffering.
Can you hear me, Carm?
No, you are buffering.
I think you're buffering, Carm.
No, you are buffering.
Where does a 5-inch gash come from?
No, don't jump from subject to subject. The timeline is very important.
There's also There was not a lot of blood at the scene, relatively correct. And so was some of it cleaned up? I don't know. I mean, these are all questions that exist 14 plus years later, and it's absolutely maddening. And one other thing I just want to make clear. The medical examiner just hastily says, the new one, no defensive wounds. But when you speak to the private investigator for the Greenbergs and you speak to independent pathologists, particularly Dr. Wayne Ross, who has studied Ellen and looked at her autopsy photos, he found marks on her wrists, almost like from like a zip handcuffs, Carm, like restraint type marks on her wrists and ligature type marks on her neck. And he believes, as does Josh Greenberg, that her actual cause of death was manual strangulation. What do you think of that?
Listen, you know, I am not an investigator. I only use common sense, of which I have some, but not a lot. And I listen to the story. I listen to the timeline, and I'm okay. There is not a lot of blood, but there is blood.
Assuming they never checked the washer and dryer, correct. You know why? Because the case has never been investigated. Literally never been investigated. The only person who is investigating this as much as they possibly can were actually two people. One was the former homicide prosecutor, Guy DeAndrea, who's one of the only people. He found this file in a closet at the DA's office when he was there. Not where the files are kept, but he happened to find it in a closet. And the other person is Tom Brennan, retired Pennsylvania state trooper, used to work the cold case. He started the cold case unit there. He's the only guy that has really investigated this. So it absolutely, this case, instead of hitting a brick wall with this latest doubling down by the city of Philadelphia, should now get double the traction because people are infuriated about this. And
the only thing I didn't do, I did not read Nancy Grace's article, Nancy Grace's book. I didn't read it yet.
But she wrote a book.
She must have some kind of a theory of what was going on.
Well, I'm glad you brought her up, Carm, because she is coming on Surviving the Survivor Wednesday. This coming Wednesday to talk.
Actually, I'm prescient. I did not know this.
Yeah, but she's coming on and she's going to. I mean, Carm, look at this. When you look at these photos, what crosses your mind when you look at these photos?
I think she's a beautiful young woman. What can I tell you? It's beyond said, but we have to look. I really bristle. I really am horrified at injustice in general, and in this case, there is definitely the way the governor jumped on the defense of the case instead of openly saying, I will investigate. It's almost like from the beginning there is something that is fishy here. Something smells in Denmark.
Yeah, so let's look at this. COE, I'm going to need that Josh Shapiro sound, please. Sam Galino, he is the chief medical examiner at the time. Marlon Osborne was the original medical examiner. Lindsay Emery is another medical examiner. So back on...
Wait a second. There is somebody missing here. Who is the latest medical examiner who made again an assessment of unaliving.
Yeah, it's Lindsay. I'm blanking on her second name right now, but
What's the name?
It's Lindsay something, and I'm just blanking on the second name. I'll get it for you in a
Oh,
second.
buffering.
Lindsay Simon. Lindsay Simon.
Lindsay Simon. How long is she?
Not long, not long. And when you research a little bit, you find out that Lindsay Simon's husband worked in the Philadelphia DA's office around the time that this was all going on, and it extended beyond that. So many, many conflicts of interest. But let me just go through this, Carm. So back in February, the Greenbergs finally got to a point after all these years where they were going to sue this guy, Sam Galino, and Marlon Osborne. And then the third person they were suing was a detective. And on the eve of what would have been a trial with a jury, the attorneys are city attorneys that were representing these two on the left. The guy in the middle, Dr. Marlon Osborne, signs what amounts to a sworn statement saying that as medical examiner at the time, I now, in this, what is a quasi sworn affidavit, he says this is anything but a self-unaliving. This is not a self-unaliving. What's more interesting, this woman, Lindsay Emery, who worked for the city of Philadelphia, I don't think she's there anymore, but she worked for the city of Philadelphia.
Also, Osborne is not there anymore. He's right here in Philadelphia, right here in Miami, I think, or in Florida.
How come no one yells at Carm when she interrupts me? It's just always a one-way street that way.
But it's important to know that he is not beholden to the government there.
Correct. So this woman, Lindsay Emery, let's just put that back up for 1 second. Lindsay Emery on the right here. She gets a piece of like neck tissue, and she finds, this is now the city of Philadelphia, that at least one of the injuries to the back of the neck here was post-mortem. There was no hemorrhaging, which means that she was already dead. So then the other wound, which is the fatal wound, it's kind of tough to inflict a wound once you have died, Carm. Is that correct? And she's not the only one to say that. And she is the city of Philadelphia. The independent pathologists, more than one who have looked at this, have said the same thing.
All right, let me ask you something. Just to be a devil's advocate, again, I'm saying something that is like not the usual thinking of this. Let's assume that she is not the one who unalived herself, but let's assume there is a possibility of a third party.
Ain't happening, but go on.
What?
Go on.
Well, did we ever try to like completely eliminate the possibility?
Well, yeah, so it's a snowy evening. I don't remember the floor that the condo's on, but it is not on the first floor. And it's a very snowy night. So
like from the window, it looks like the third floor.
Yeah, police did at least a thorough enough investigation to stick their heads out the balcony door and see that there were no footprints on the balcony, and it was fresh snow. So if someone had climbed the third floor from the outside on a nor'easter, jumped in there, but you know they say, Carm, have you heard of Occam's razor? Have you heard of Occam's razor, Carm?
Why did I hear about that? Why?
Now you're upset because you don't know what it is. Basically means it basically means the simplest explanation is the explanation. No bandit jumped up, climbed up, there was nothing taken, there was nothing stolen. And you brought up maybe the best point of them all, Carm. I'll give you credit. The timeline. There's not really an explanation for what goes on for 5 hours other than from Sam Goldberg. Now, I'm thinking of 10 things at one time. Let me go back to you. Let's just take a half step back here. I just interviewed Ellen's best friend and other friends, and one of the first things they said collectively was that she literally had just zero. I talked about this off the top, zero threshold for pain, none. She could not get a bikini wax. That's how little of a threshold for pain she had. I've never had a bikini wax, so I don't know how tough it is, but women are generally tougher than men. And for her to not be able to handle that, that's saying something. Would you think her choice would be to stab herself in the chest?
You keep buffering.
It's on your end, Carm.
Well, I don't understand really. Then why I can see myself, but I cannot see you?
Hang on a sec. I've got to bring in
the expert.
COE, can you hear and see me? COE.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so is Carm having a problem?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there anything I can do about it?
Get tinfoil for your cell phone, and you got to hold yourself. Are you on a computer?
Yeah, I'm on the computer.
No, can you hear me at all? You don't have to
I
see
hear
me.
you all the time, except when I announce that you're buffering.
Let me take a brief moment here. Look at this. I got Joel's book on audio. He and Carm had me both laughing and crying in turns. Great book. Surviving the Survivor is the title of the book. Sixth floor. I thought it was the sixth floor. It is the sixth floor. I don't want to be immodest, but this book should be a national bestseller, globally recognized. But
I thought you are reading her message. It's your ad-lib.
Sadly, it is not. Carm, what do you make of the fact that the method of this self-unaliving is stabbing for a person where they specifically said the threshold of pain was zero? And
I don't think she did it. For a minute, I don't. First of all, she was like a really delicate, sweet person, and she had all those pills there. She could have at least swallowed those pills. No, somebody attacked her, but I don't say it's Sam until proven guilty. He's innocent until proven guilty. Now I learned something, that the timeline that I couldn't understand, how could he do it in such a hurry, in such a short time, is a very long time. And it's a perfect time to have a fight. And they said that she was packing and she was going to leave him. Correct or wrong?
That is, her father, Josh, says that she had a bag packed. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So let's take a half step back right now, Carm. The story that Ellen was giving was that she was having a really hard time with teaching, and that she had felt bad because she had inflated some grades. We're talking about elementary school kids here. But the friends say that the real story was she was unhappy in her relationship. If Ellen is telling the truth and it's about grading, I mean, would you ever expect someone who felt a little bad for inflating an elementary, not deflating, but inflating an elementary school kid's grade, that they're going to take their life because of that?
I think it's a very complex, because I tell you why. They already sent out the save the date for their wedding.
Correct.
They lived in a social environment where all her friends were getting married at that time, 27, or about, or had boyfriends, and the pressure was on. She was an only child, which is horrible for her parents, worse even than the horrible. And she was an only child, and she was an adored only child, and she had to be perfect. That's my analysis of Ellen.
I did not know this, but this might be true. Bag packed, boots on, her ring was off. She was no longer, I guess, wearing her ring. I believe I have actually heard that. I don't have confirmation of that, but Carm.
It was on the Hulu.
Okay. But Carm, listen, I have an older sister, so you went through this, and you couldn't care less about me getting married, but you put some pressure on your daughter to get married. There is sort of an, I don't know, I don't want to sound sexist or misogynistic here, but there's sort of an implicit pressure, at least in our family. You wanted your daughter married, didn't you?
I think that I did, but I don't think that Ellen's family was pressuring her. I think it's the whole social milieu. She had a grandmother probably adored her. She had cousins. She had friends who were getting married. She was under pressure, and it was. I think it was. She's one of these sweet people. I imagine that it would be hard for her to say no. In general, it would be hard for her to say no.
Mm. What do you make too of the fact that there's a very disturbing autopsy photo, but these are very distinct bruises. Now, again, the medical examiner is counting 11. Gavin Fish, and check out his YouTube channel, he's counted over 50 bruises in different stages.
May I say something?
Yeah.
Don't show me. Please don't show me any of the autopsy pictures. I never
But
saw them.
it says here, in my opinion, Ellen was terrified of Sam. Do you think that was a possibility?
I think it's more complex than that. I think that maybe she was very eager to please him, and he might have began to like really control her.
Look at this. You guys are in sync here. You and Sandy Baker, a people pleaser. It sounds like she might have been a bit of a people pleaser. Tiff Knox with a great comment. Joel, you're buffering only when Carm doesn't like what you say. I would not put it past her. Carm,
I am very direct. I would tell him. I wouldn't announce that he's buffering.
You might be a little too direct. For those who can't tell, Carm and I have had a rough week together. People think, as I always say, that this is shtick, but dealing with some things behind the scenes, and Carm and I have been brawling, or at least I've been brawling with her.
I haven't been brawling at all, and so I think I won't tolerate being a punching bag.
This is a picture now of Sam walking the hallway. And to your point, you can see the gym right there, right behind him. Now, this is like a key card building. We don't know, because I don't think they ever tested any of the key cards. Like, I don't think they ever did any digital forensics at all. So I don't know that they know what his whereabouts were in that 5-hour window. So that's actually something that I have not talked a lot about. I mean, in terms of asking people, but I'll be sure to ask Nancy Grace and some others. Like, is there really this wide open 5-hour window? Because that would have left an incredible amount of time to do a lot of damage and then clean up your work potentially. Look, everyone is innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. All I'm asking for here is an investigation. And Governor Josh Shapiro, he ain't doing nothing. He's got a memoir. Who is going to read a memoir, no offense, about the governor of Pennsylvania, who's like, no one really knows besides maybe people in Pennsylvania? Carm.
Who will read his memoir?
Yeah. Who reads these memoirs?
I think he is by default. Okay, I'm not getting into politics.
Well, he's going to outsell me in the first hour, whereas the vast majority of Americans
are not in the competition business. I am still preoccupied. And what about the latch when he leaves for the...
America would be better off reading my book than Josh Shapiro's memoir. Trust me on that. Trust me. It is going to be tripe, as they say. I learned that word in this show. It is going to be garbage. You actually learn about life reading my
Joel,
book. You learn
Joel, it
zero
doesn't
reading
make
Josh Shapiro's book, other than
doesn't make
hollow
sense.
political rhetoric. Okay, Carm, we're going to listen
Okay,
now.
okay. Next question is, if he was the one who unalive, which he's innocent, we don't know until proven guilty. But if he was the one, then how did he put the latch back up when he was leaving?
Good question. The sort of the manager of the building has explained that it is possible. So it's possible if you shut the door hard enough with these swing latches, it can close. However, he claims, now this is his words, he claims he broke in, and he said that the concierge, a guy named Phil Hanton, was with him. Phil Hanton, if you watch the Hulu documentary,
he was not there.
Explicitly says he wasn't with Sam. So why would Sam say he was with him? Again, Gavin Fish, others have tested these locks. It is physically impossible to break open a door like that with that lock intact. It just can't happen. It defies physics. So that statement from Sam that he broke open the door is either a lie or a lie, because there's nothing else that I can. There's no other rationale for it at all. And again, I mean, to sail baby sail point, you can't establish if you went to the gym. Number one, as far as I know, they didn't check the key card that you would have to swipe, and they never they never checked anything because they never, once again, investigated the case.
I have one more question.
I have a question for you.
The timeline. He was in the gym for how long? I think he was only for
like 30, 40 minutes.
A half hour.
Yeah, he went on the elliptical and did some abs, from what I understand.
And that wasn't enough. That was like cutting it short.
Here's a theory from Rosie. He practiced locking the door behind him, because you can do that. The manager of the building, and it's been shown, if you shut the door hard enough, it swings the latch shut. So she's saying, this is Rosie's theory, he practiced locking the door behind him, and on the 911 call, he said, I don't know. How do you not notice a knife sticking out that second mistake, because there's no first one with a door? Carm, I have a question for you, Carm. From a licensed therapist point of view, there was someone arguing with me on Twitter who believes that she is a therapist, but she's just a keyboard warrior, telling me that Ellen's voices must have told her to just start stabbing herself. Is someone who experiences anxiety, can they get into a psychotic episode and just begin stabbing themselves? Like, that seems very far-fetched to me, Carm.
If all anxious people would be also psychotic on the edges, we would have the USA of psychosis, because so many people have anxiety and they don't hear voices, and the voices don't tell them to stab themselves. I can understand somebody wanting to kill themselves, but the way, the selection of the way to unalive herself was totally not the typical way women do that. Especially when we know what the prescriptions were, she should have popped the 2 bottles. If that's what she wanted. But obviously, you don't feel. I mean, I can see the 2 of them in the apartment, and they get into a big argument, and he just goes berserk. I can see him going berserk. Do you see that?
100%. I think that's what happened, if you ask my opinion. But that's my opinion. Rick Hamill was telling me to not interrupt you. He says he's a film editor. That's cool, Rick. I know bad acting when I hear it. His 911 call was the definition of bad acting. So obvious he was lying. Let's listen to that 911 calls. COE, I'm going to need that Josh Shapiro stuff, please, please, pretty please. Here's the 911 call. We've listened to it before, but never with Karm. Karm, if you want me to stop it, just raise your hand and I will stop it. Oh, it's telling me I can't bring it on. COE, can you play this call? It's telling me I can't bring it in for some reason. There we go.
No.
01
Flat Rock Road.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh no. Oh no.
Apartment.
It's an apartment.
What apartment number?
Please hurry,
Where is
please.
she bleeding from?
I don't know. I can't tell. She's.
No. So you have to calm yourself down in order to get you some help.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm looking at her right now. I can't see anything. There's nothing broken. She's bleeding. Ellie.
You don't know where she's bleeding from? Can't tell where
Ellie.
the blood's coming from?
I think her head. I think she hit her head, but it's everywhere.
Okay, so
it's everywhere.
She might have fallen. Do you know what happened?
She may have slipped. There's blood on the table. Her face is a little purple.
Okay, hold on for rescue for her. Stay on the phone.
Fire Department 842. What's the address? No,
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please hurry.
4601 Flat Rock.
Yes.
What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood. She's not responding.
Stop it.
Okay,
Stop
she
it.
breathing?
Stop it. I decided to break it down. His own words. You cannot break down that door. It defies physics. You cannot. So that's a lie. Go ahead here, Bugs.
Look at her chest. I need you to calm down, and I need you to look at her chest. It's really.
I really don't think she is.
Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
She's on her back. So I bring her.
Look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Okay. Do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay. I can tell you what to do. Okay, until they get there. I want you to keep her flat on her.
God.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, okay.
Are you willing to do CPR with me over the phone until they get there?
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off. Okay? Kneel down by her side.
Oh, my God. Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you
Okay, I'm trying not to. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh, my God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell with a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
Her what?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her down. Here now. I mean, what do I do?
No, I mean, you can't. If the knife is in her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Police with Shapiro.
277.
Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said 4601 Flat Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, so what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh my God! Okay.
How old is she?
She's 27.
27. And there's no sign of life at all?
No, please don't be. What?
Pinch her under her arm and tell me if she responds to pain.
Ellie. She's not. Her arm and her hands are still warm. I don't know if that means, but there's blood everywhere.
I know, but you can't, and the knife is still inside of her. How far? Can you see how far it went in?
It looks pretty deep.
Okay.
It looks it's a long knife.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch anything, okay?
I'm not touching anything. I can't believe this, though.
So wait, it was just you there with her?
this.
We're the only ones here.
Yeah,
and she
I think
ran
we're good
in the
with
door.
that.
You said latched it shut.
No, I went downstairs to work out, and when I came back up, the door was.
That was courtesy of Gavin Fish, by the way. Thank you to Gavin. Carm, first of
Wait
all,
a minute. Did you hear what he said? There is blood everywhere. Did you hear that?
Carm, I'm telling you, after your career as a podcaster, you need to be an investigator. I'm telling you, I'm being serious. You and the COE would be amazing. I am not detail oriented like that, but you
know
guys
what
are.
this made me think?
What?
And it made me think of Wendy Adelson right after the execution of Dan Markel. They bring her in the police station, and the way she is, even there, she's very careful of what she's saying and how she's saying, and everybody who listens to it feels that it's not that she's calculating and figuring out how to respond. And I have the feeling when he says, I went down to the gym, I came up, he's giving like more information than he needs to give about, like
100%.
like how the hell does he know if it's her heart?
Also, right. And he also says she fell on the knife. How does he know what happened? How does he know that there wasn't an intruder? Like you just asked, Carm. How would he not? How would he know that someone didn't break in? And why is he? And he said it's her knife. I mean, K9 Catherine here. Rick says Carm's sharp as a tack. Yeah. You would not start with I was at the gym, blah, 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 when you're finding your fiance like that. Correct. And then there was that other one.
It's a good thing he didn't say, and I wasn't there, lipstick, and I did some abs.
Yeah.
Right.
And, right. I mean, Christy Schneppier, how does he know it's a long knife? Correct. Does he mention, Missy, I just picked up on this for the first time, and I've listened to this 500 times. He mentions that her hands are warm. Is he doing that? I would not be surprised if this guy, because he called his uncle, the judge, and cousin, if he actually had a script of some sort where they said, you've got to put this and this into the call.
No,
It wouldn't,
no.
it would not surprise me. COE, I'm going to need that Josh Shapiro, please, if it is possible. I need to show Carm that, because I will make her very uncomfortable, because Carm believes that the governor might come after her.
Carm is paranoid.
Now, Jury Duty podcast, Kimberly B here, by the way, who's a friend, she believes, Carm, that Sam actually, her contention, Sam made this 911 call not even in the apartment, she says. People like Sam use every advantage to bolster their alibi because our brains aren't wired to say he said XY. If the 911 dispatcher were asked, she'd say he was at the gym. It's just natural. Interesting. So he's kind of planting seeds here. And it is interesting. I mean, Carm, what do you make of like the tone and the pacing? At one moment, he's sounding panic stricken, and then in the next moment he's totally composed. It just doesn't comport with human nature.
No, it does. It does.
How so?
Well, if you even what is the name of the guy in South Carolina?
Yeah, by the way, this is another great point, Carm. Barbara DeSanti, who Alec Murdoch, if she fell on the knife, which is what he suggests, how is it that she's on her back, which is how he also says he finds her? How is that possible, Carm?
I think there are definite inconsistencies, but the fact to go in and out of hysterical and panicky to a more rational mode, I observe, just from what I learned with this true crime experience, what was Murdoch? Murdoch also like goes between the hysterical and the calm when he calls the police, if you remember.
Karmela Sharp, I'll give her that.
And what's her name? Wendy also goes between crying and sobbing, and I don't know if she had tears, but crying, and then giving very kind of calculated responses. And I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't know.
You still don't know what?
I still don't know how did it play out, because now I have much more of a time in my calculations, because initially I thought there was only 37 minutes when he was away for him to reappear like all washed and cleaned and everything. But nobody knew anything about his clothes. Did anybody look at the outside dumpster? Did anybody look in the like you said, the washing machine?
No. And by the way, one of the pathologists, at least one, says that there was a non-serrated, a second knife used. That knife was never found. Who would ever use two knives if they're going to do this? Look at this too. Gavin Fish's wife took a ruler to her neck to get the very angle that Ellen's wounds represent, and it seemed nearly impossible to get to the back of her neck with such force. Joe Scott Morgan, who is a well-known forensic pathologist, said it is quote-unquote mechanically implausible to get back there. I just, when you try to figure out how it all went down, that's where I have a bit of a.
No, but I tell you what is very frustrating here, that there is no authority that you can address, who is willing to address this issue. Instead of going and looking at it, they're blocking it every way they can, and they sabotage it. They want it to go to sleep. Like Josh Shapiro said, we are very sorry that I have 4 children. It's nothing worse than losing your child, but she's self-unalived, and there is nothing that can be done about it. But the fact that nobody ever really investigated it, you can't go to the, like for some crimes, you can go to the Supreme Court. You can't go to the Supreme Court for lack of investigation.
But you can get it. You can get it into the hands of the feds, which is what needs to be done. There is a guy named David Metcalf. He's the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. You can tweet him. You can just do a quick Google search. The guy's name is David Metcalf, COE. If we can get that up at some point, that would be great for the audience here. But we should reach out to him and see if we can get this out of the hands. Let me ask you, Carm, let me backtrack 1/2 second. I said this on a previous show, which is why I'll bring it up again. And I prefaced it by saying I would be fired from any legitimate news organization for saying this. However, I have at least 6 people I've talked to who know the inner story and who are connected in both Philly and New York. And the word on the street right now, and I will publicly apologize for this if it is not true, which it may not be, but the word on the street is Sam Goldberg's current wife has now left him and taken the kids. I don't know if that's true, but why I find that interesting, and correct me if I'm wrong here, if this was a case of DV, you know what that is, right, Carm? I just can't say the word. If this was a case of DV,
domestic, right? Okay,
correct. Is it true that, to use the analogy, a metaphor, a leopard cannot change his spots? Would this same type of behavior reoccur, do you think, in a different relationship?
everybody is innocent until proven guilty. I think that Sam is under a lot of pressure. We forget that he is like somebody in Hulu was interviewed who works with him. Did you see that?
Carm's smart. She's not emotional like me. She's doing damage control for what I just said. Go ahead, Carm.
What was I talking about?
I mean, the truth is, if you had this,
we're
talking about Sam being under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Sam is under a lot of pressure, and just imagine there was a person on Hulu who works with him, a person, and said that people are kind of feeling uncomfortable around him in light of the Hulu thing, in light of Nancy Grace, in light of all the podcasters who are talking about it. So he is under, even if he's a very peaceful, peace-loving, even-tempered human being, this can really push him to react the way he wouldn't react under normal circumstances. So who is that person on the right corner? That's him?
That's him. Yeah. Doesn't look like he's hitting the gym too hard.
No.
I hate to judge a book by its cover,
but half hour in the gym is not enough time.
Yeah.
No, but all kidding aside, do you see what I mean? Since now we have to think he's innocent, but all the pressure, I mean, nobody would stand up too well under the amount of pressure.
A lot of people concurring, a leopard does not change its spots. So let me switch gears here to make you even more nervous. Josh Shapiro has a memoir coming out ahead of his aspirational run for president, which is not going to happen unless he does something about this. But so now this guy, Sam's uncle, is James Schwartzman, a criminal defense attorney and a one-time judge in Philadelphia. Powerful. James Schwartzman's daughter went to school, and I confirmed this with Ellen's friends, went to school with Josh Shapiro. So there's not even a degree of separation here between Shapiro and Sam Goldberg's uncle. And as you know, Josh Shapiro is a politician, and the Schwartzmans have money, and from all accounts had contributed to political campaigns. And prior to this, Josh Shapiro was a state representative. He was attorney general. And the whole time, he has been essentially turning what I describe as a blind eye to this whole case. But there's a connection. He's admitted that there was a conflict of interest. In my own opinion, I don't know if he's turning a blind eye because he doesn't want to bring light to corruption in Philadelphia, or because because it is something personal. But we're gonna play this sound right now. Carm, my mother. This comes a couple of days after, just a couple of days after the medical examiner, the original medical examiner says, Osborne, I have changed my mind. I am now swearing on a court document that this was anything but a self-unaliving. And that's when this question comes up at a news conference. COE, can we play this?
With the Ellen Greenberg investigation, I know you're familiar with it because you were Attorney General. This big development with the medical examiner now saying that he doesn't believe that it was a suicide. What would you like to see happen? Do you think there should be a new criminal investigation?
Well, look, I don't think I should speak for the city of Philadelphia and why they chose to make the decision they did. But let me just offer maybe some broader comments. First off, as a father of four, my heart breaks for the Greenberg family. No parent should ever, ever have to bury a child. And this is a case that I inherited as Attorney General that occurred if memory serves me, about 6 years prior to me even becoming Attorney General of the Commonwealth. And it was a case that was put on my desk after the city of Philadelphia ruled that Ellen Greenberg died by suicide, not by homicide. That wasn't my decision. That was made years prior by the city of Philadelphia. The case was
COE,
then
can you stop it for 1 second?
to the Attorney General's office for investigation. And we looked at.
Okay. I just want to make this point. This is a guy who went to school with this Sam Goldberg's uncle's daughter, with the uncle's, I don't even know what the connection is. He keeps saying in this questioning here, if you listen to him, if my memory serves me correct, this guy knows this case inside out and backwards, and he knows his political career rests right now in this case, and he's just trying to turn a blind eye to make it go away, thinking people are going to forget it. He's got his book coming out. I'm going to book signings in Philadelphia. Go ahead, COE. I'm riled up on a Friday, Carm.
You get riled up for many reasons. You are Mr. Riled Up.
Let's play it out, COE. I'm going to go to every book signing and ask him questions. Let's go here, COE. Thank you.
There is nothing that can be done unless
I have no anger management. Is the COE doing this remotely? Like, I don't understand.
Every possible angle. There's nothing I wanted more than to give these parents some finality, some answer.
He ran
some
away
clarity.
from them at the synagogue. He ran away from them.
We received more evidence, more information during the course of our investigation that sadly didn't show what they wanted it to show, but actually rather pointed to more data, more information that pointed toward a suicide. At
Why
some
are you
point,
listening to him?
the Greenberg family asked that we no longer consider the case. And under the Commonwealth Attorneys Act, I had the authority as Attorney General to transfer that case to a neighboring district attorney. And I did. We transferred it to the Chester County District Attorney, if memory serves.
Listen to what he says at the end.
They looked at it for a couple of years, and they found the same determination as well. There was no evidence there that supported a homicide. There was no evidence there that supported any sort of criminal charges against anyone else. And they closed the case. So over the span of whatever it's been, over 10 years, over a decade, you've had 3 or 4 different law enforcement agencies look at it and come to that same conclusion. The city of Philadelphia were the ones that began this process.
It's not 3 or 4. It's Philadelphia.
Determined the cause of death. That's on them to explain why they determined that. That had nothing to do with the Attorney General's office or any district attorney's office. I'll end this, where I began. My heart really does break for the Greenberg family. And I know that, the
lashing out.
Some, maybe feel that lashing out at me in the media is helpful to their cause. I'm not going to stand in judgment of them. These are parents who are grieving.
I can't listen to this dude. I just can't. Carm,
So
I'm Jewish. You're Jewish. I would love nothing more than a Jewish president, but not this guy, man. Not this guy. Let me just tell you something. They go on the high holidays, which is Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, to the same synagogue in Western Pennsylvania. The Greenbergs go to the same synagogue as Josh Shapiro, and Josh Shapiro put his security in front of the Greenbergs. This is a guy that is supposed to be a public servant as the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and he's not getting away with it. Go ahead.
Joel, yes, he's getting away with it already 11 years.
14 years.
And
11
while
is
he's
Markel.
going up. And
Not when I get to his book signings, Carm. Not when I get to his book signings.
I am very paranoid. Forget about Josh Shapiro. Forget about him. Let's focus on the.
He's gonna put the hit squad out on Carm.
Would be the
Carm? Let me
tell me what would cause the FBI to get involved.
Well, I think it has to come. So I think the governor has, ultimate say, but for sure, a person right now, like Kash Patel, the FBI director, Pam Bondi, the attorney general, could easily.
Yeah, she doesn't love Shapiro.
She certainly does not love Shapiro, so she's probably a good person to reach out to. But it would have to get into federal jurisdiction, and I think the FBI could do an investigation. And I think that they could get answers here. He's never really been, he went to the police department. This guy's never even really been questioned. I am so curious if this is true that the wife has now left Sam. If that is true, man, does she ever have a platform on Surviving the Survivor at gmail.com? I would love to hear from her. Carm, a couple other things I just want to cover real quick. As Sam is trying to, quote unquote, get into the apartment before he breaks the lock, which is impossible to do without breaking the door, he texts Ellen between 5:32 and 5:54 p.m. Text number 1, hello. Text number 2, open the door. Text number 3, what are you doing? Text number 4, I'm getting pissed. 5, hello. 6, you better have an excuse. 7, what the F? 8,
You mean you can see the anger mounting?
Yeah. 9, you have no idea. That, yeah, or is he going back and again creating an alibi here that he was, getting anxious, he wanted to get into the apartment, she wasn't answering, he had to break the door down. Again, physically impossible to do what he said he did.
When he's writing these texts, you can see that the anger rises. In the text.
Yeah, it does rise.
The funny thing is that nobody should be fooled by the way you read it. You read it angry, but if you took a sweet little person reading it in a sweet little manner, it still gets like a crescendo. It's building up the anger. So is not sweetheart, open the door. No, sweetheart.
Candy Williams says we should start. There actually is a petition. I think it is change.org. The COE would have the information on that. More than 100, I think, and 80,000 people last check have. Oh, here it is right here. Look at this. There is a petition for Ellen, change.org. It's probably up over 200,000 people that have signed it. Yeah, there we go. Nicole's been tweeting at everybody. Listen, I've said this 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,001 times. I'm not going to be able to. I'm a nobody. I'm not going to be able to do anything. You guys have the power. The community has the power. In theory,
the power is in the numbers.
Yeah, power of the people. I mean, in theory, a guy like Governor Shapiro, who's simply doing everything. If you look at Governor Shapiro's social media site on Twitter, he tweets every hour. His staff obviously does, just to say how wonderful every corner of Philadelphia is, how it's the best state, how they've improved everything. Nothing is wrong in Pennsylvania. Zero. Here's a statement, Carm. We'll end out on two statements. These are the words of Sam Goldberg, and I'll read them to you now. First one came about a year ago when he spoke to Thomas Lake at CNN, who has written if you want like a primer on this and you want an overall great article, just Google Thomas Lake, CNN, Ellen Greenberg, and this will come up. But this is the statement that he gave, a written statement. Carm, here we go. When Ellen took her own life, it left me bewildered. Not a huge. I wrote for TV News for 27 years. There's not a person alive at that age that would use the word bewildered. When Ellen took her own life, it left me bewildered. She was a wonderful and kind person who had everything to live for. When she died, a part of me died with her. He called what's going on publicly a pathetic and despicable attempt to desecrate my reputation and Ellen's privacy by creating a narrative that embraces lies, distortions, and falsehoods. And goes on to say, Carm, Mental illness is very real and has many victims. This is part of the statement. Mental illness is very real and has many victims. Your thoughts on this statement, Carm?
That's the he is explaining the cause of this unaliving by using this excuse, the mental health.
Joe Moore, I can tell you almost with certainty that he did not write a word of that. Went to a lawyer or a PR firm or something. It's not a bad idea. Gummies, Joel, gummies after the show. Not a bad idea. Now, the Daily Mail just caught up with him, and this is in the last week, and they asked, and that's where these photos come from. These are from the Daily Mail here. But they asked him, Carm, what's it like with this documentary out and all this attention? And he goes, and they basically asked, have you been stressed out? He goes, yeah, I have been. It's awful and it sucks, but I have nothing else to say. You notice anything missing there?
Like I'm innocent.
That, or, I think about Ellen every day, or Ellen was a beautiful person, or, I wish Ellen, anything. It's all about himself. Carm, does this ever get resolved?
Well, now I have high hope that somehow the FBI. When is Josh Shapiro going to?
That's the woman in the photo is his wife that we're not sure if he's still with. We're hearing.
No, could you just tell me?
Yeah, go ahead.
When is his term expiring, Shapiro?
That's a good question. I think there's a little ways to go. If anyone has the answer to that, anyone in Pennsylvania, let us know. But he has a book out. Do you want to go to the book signing with me, Carm, and you ask the questions?
May I say something to you? Maybe he has an election coming up, let's say in a year or so, and certainly he will be more aware of this burden on his resume.
Carm, would you come up to Philadelphia and at a book signing for his book in front of the 3 people that will be there? Will you out loud ask questions about Sam to make him incredibly uncomfortable? He could not turn a blind eye to an 86-year-old woman. Would you do it?
You know me, and you know I did things like this before.
Well, would you do it again? Would you do it again?
I am thinking about it. It has to be logically a good reason rather than a performance.
If anyone has questions for Carm, that's how we end the show. I should have given you more of a heads up. 172,633 have verified signatures on that petition so far. His term ends 2027. Rick wants you to edit movies with him. Rick, what kind of movies do you edit, by the way? I'm curious. Let us know.
And where?
This is the part of the show where you can ask Carm anything. You have a boyfriend that's aggravating you.
Boy, would I love to edit a movie. Would I love to.
You have an addiction to Butterfingers like Ned Smith. I didn't see her today. Tiff Knox, you might have a question.
Term ends in 2027. So already next year it will be all heated up.
Already, yeah.
And who is going to run against him?
Carm, you always seem so calm with Joel. Have you ever lost? Carm,
He's the only person I lose it with. Why? I'll tell you why. Because
your daughter's perfect.
He will not stop provoking me until he just loves the explosion. So he will light more and more fire until boom.
Here come the questions. Carm, Not in Carm's case. Why do mothers and daughters have difficult relationships? You and your daughter. My sister is literally the perfect child. She's 58 or 59 now, but she was
She's
always.
60.
Is she?
She's 61
Don't
almost.
don't tell
But
me that.
I tell you why mothers and daughters have a difficult relationship. And trust me, I'm not above that, and I'm not better than that. But my husband was a very smart man. Joel will admit, and he had a very simple little saying that you could hear in kindergarten: "Mind your own business," because
I have a
anytime I don't mind my own business, I get into trouble. And the irony of life is that I'm not going to go into details at all. 2 nights ago, at 11 o'clock at night, Joel called me up and at 11 o'clock at night and started to tell me something that really I forgot. I forgot the rule of minding my own business, which I always forget, and I got into a very unpleasant situation. I think that's what mothers have to work on it and not be pulled into it. No matter how anxious you are about what's happening and what's falling apart, and boy, I'm really into this.
I found a patch like you put on a jacket. Like it looks like it's from the 1950s with like the woman who's flexing her arm, and it says "Mind your own business" because that's what Dad said, and it's sitting in my bathroom. And Carm, you once told me, be like John Wayne, the strong, silent type. So I once found I don't know why, a lighter with John Wayne on it, and I had that lighter in my medicine cabinet. And I would say that if there could be two more polar opposite people in the entire world, it would be me and John Wayne. But I think about that. Rick Hamill has the answer here. I work for Skydance Studio, work mainly on animated features. Wow, that's got to be tough, the animated stuff. Just finished editing a movie called Swapped to be released on Netflix. Mazel tov, Rick. This is it's exciting stuff. This is cool. Very cool.
So where is the studio?
Maybe you want to create a new open for our show, Rick. We could use the help. Carm, the studio is probably in LA. Rick, she wants to know everything. I think she thinks you're cute, Rick. Give us more information.
No, absolutely. Didn't even look at you.
SDS thing. He's got glasses. He's hiding behind glasses. Polygraph. Carm. Now this is the show. Why are male seahorses considered the males if they give birth to the babies?
I think I read this once 100 years ago. I think they can be both. You know, they always bring up the seahorses.
What is that? Androgynous? What is both?
Yes. They are both. I'm going to Google this seahorse story.
This is the best part of the show. This is actually relaxing me. Two things. My son has his first ever spelling test today. We went over all his words yesterday. His sister's name is Zizi. That's her real name, Z-I-Z-I. I'll tell you why another day. But one of his spelling words is fuzz, and the COE taught him to spell it by saying F-U, Z-Z. F-U. And he knows that. The one he has trouble with is chill. He's getting
chill. Like chill. Don't get aggravated. It's just chill.
Yeah. Then another word. The bonus word is an. Like I stepped on an ant. An ant. So
is
that's
there anywhere you'd like to travel that you haven't been? You know, it's so funny that you ask. I assume you're asking me. It's very funny that you are asking because my daughter told me that Hawaii is a very beautiful place and she would love to go there once.
You guys are all guests of Canine Catherine. She'll have you.
And I felt at this point in my life, no, I wouldn't like to go to any place. It's very weird. It's like I'm closed for business of traveling for exploration. I have family in Israel. I love the country. I would like to go there, but that's all. And I will go there if I'm still moving around on my two legs.
Carm, I don't need to tell you, but I have to go write a check to Uncle Sam, which is why I'm extending the show.
Well, you should also, Joel, you should sign with love, Joel, dear Uncle
If
Sam.
there's one person I could
Love,
try to, I
Joel.
wish I could. I'm not going to say it. I'll probably get arrested by the FBI if I say
How
what
to
I'm about
handle
to say.
anxiety? Choose a different mother. Don't take me for your mother.
You know, Carm,
Because-
how do Sunshine wants to know, what do you do? Trust me, if you had Carm as your mother, your anxiety would be extremely high. But
yes, I'm an
but-
anxiety creator, according to Joel.
and your sister and my sister, you also create anxiety in her. You know that, right?
All right, Joel. Even in the dogs, I create anxiety.
All right. So what in general, if someone is feeling anxious, what is your advice to them?
You know, my husband really suffered from anxiety before he met me. As a matter of fact, I truly didn't understand. I was 20 when I met him, and I didn't understand exactly what was going on. And he went into psychiatry, I think, partly to learn how to deal with his anxiety. And very frankly, it's a very, very difficult thing to get rid of. Very difficult to get rid of. There are all sorts of ways you try to decrease the anxiety. There are many techniques, many approaches that may help. One of them is the talking therapies, but I don't know if there is that much left of talking therapies where you talk out your anxieties. Now, there is one little interesting issue. If your anxiety is, let's say, about a health issue, let's say you are anxious because I can't even think, because you think that you have a lump somewhere. My husband always said you should, instead of sitting around with the anxiety, the simplest thing is you go check it out, and then your anxiety decreases. So
Take action is the bottom line.
Exactly. If you can do something about it, do something about it.
Could you come here and sign this check for the Uncle Sam? I can't bring myself to do it. I heard, by the way, Ron DeSantis, another politician, says that he's going to eliminate property taxes in Florida. I'll believe it when I see it. Nicole Longo here. Carm, share your secrets for staying young in body and mind.
I am not young in body or mind, but I am trying to do the best possible thing. Move around. I'm very sedentary. I try to eat, besides the junk that I inherited from Joel, that he also
you hit the gym, Carm. You're a gym rat.
No, I'm not, because it's twice a week, an hour each time, and then I go a little on the treadmill, and then I'm sitting around a lot.
It's more than Sam Goldberg goes to the gym. Sandy Baker here. Carm, how can I forgive the father of my children who forsook me? That's
forsake.
Yeah. When I got sick in 2000, and it ended in the alienation of my two precious children. This is heavy, but important, Carm.
Alienation from her.
I just have to, so Carm doesn't get sued. I just want to say she is a licensed therapist, but you should seek professional treatment. This is just humble opinion.
Professional help. People. Yeah, right. I am telling you what I think, but I'm not a practicing. When I retired, I gave up my practice and my insurance, so I cannot be now a therapist. But I can tell you what I personally think without expecting you to follow what I
That's
say.
enough of a disclaimer. Go ahead, Carm. What do you do here? Her husband leaves her in 2000 when she is sick. I'm glad that you're healthy, Sandy, now. And it ends in the alienation. What is your thought or your advice?
Well, little by little, chiseling away, she has to establish a relationship with her children. It's possible, little by little, inch by inch.
She says, we aren't alienated anymore, but my grandson is now my son's age, and it opened old wounds. That's tough. Ned Smith is in the chat.
You know, until very recently, I know it sounds crazy in light of my life, but I didn't realize how much pain and discomfort almost all of us at one point in our lives, or a long point in our lives, how much we carry around, and whatever you see in Facebook is a lie. People put down lies. Human lives are so burdened with pain and stress and anxiety, and it's not peaches and cream. But I think there is one way that I feel it's better for me when I get involved mentally with other people rather than looking, contemplating my own navel.
That's what I like to do, is look beyond myself.
Exactly.
Focus on
Joel,
other
there
things.
is no world beyond yourself.
Oh, wait, I had another question and it just skipped me by here. Hold on a sec. Oh,
Yeah.
Carm, we've got Ned Smith. She's in the chat. Yesterday, she ate so many Butterfingers that she had to excuse herself to use the restroom. Do you think that is a form?
The
loo. She's not British, though. She's in San Antonio. Do you think that is anxiety driven, eating Butterfingers until you are physically sick?
Addiction?
Yeah, I mean, is food a big driver for anxiety? Like, in other words, does food soothe anxiety for many people?
Oh, yes. I use, I admire people who cannot eat when they are stressed. I eat that.
Any other questions? Because after this, I've got to go pay Uncle Sam. Carm, I can't bring myself to do it. Carm, let me ask you something.
It's right, Tiff Knox.
Carm, why is nothing what it seems in life? Why is it?
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Well, why is it
that my husband had a patient 100 years ago, and the presenting problem was he wasn't sure if his life is real or he's dreaming it.
Who said this? Because I think that.
One of Roy's patients.
What did Dad say?
What?
What did Dad say?
Well, I think he made him realize that, no, this is real. But I mean, I am thinking it wasn't Roy who thought it. When the guy got his monthly bill, it became real and not a dream.
I used to have this weird thought. This goes back to probably when I was like 8 years old up till present day, that how do we know that we don't exist, like our whole universe, on someone else's fingernail, like on their thumb? Like, you just don't know. Like,
what?
Like, how do you know we're just not part, like we're this little speck of something much bigger than, like, like maybe I used to have this like image that we were like, we all existed on some other person's like little part of their body. Like, there's something much greater out there. Nothing, it doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. There's nothing.
Joel, when I look downstairs and I see people, they look like tiny little.
Why is life, Carmen, this is my question. Why is life torture? Why is everything torture? It's just one torture after another.
I don't know. I honestly I don't feel it's torture. It is This is the
People are
latest
single. They
fashionable
want to be in a
expression.
relationship.
It
You
is
get in a
what it
relationship.
is.
You get in a
It's not
relationship, and there's problems in a
absolute
relationship.
unadulterated joy, and it's not torture. And the secret of I know nobody will believe me this. From childhood, I knew we are here for a limited time. I knew it. And I decided every single day I'm going to try to do something that I personally enjoy. And Joel invited me to see, I'm not advertising the book, but he invited me. We went to see Martin Short, and then he bought his book. And it's funny. And by the way, a ghostwriter helped him. And today my reward was, I already gave it to myself. Maybe I'll give myself a second one. But my reward was to read a few chapters in that book.
Carm, a final question or two from Rosie. How do I come to my senses to forgive my mom that does not speak to me and called me a pig because I kissed my chihuahuas? She doesn't speak to me either. The chihuahuas. Anyone who doesn't like someone being kissed by their dog, even if it's your mother, is not worth it. But Carm,
I tell you, I totally sympathize with your mother. Joel has 2 dogs, and they are constantly on top of him when he is at home. And I was raised without dogs, and I say, listen, I should mind my own business. I'm practicing what my husband told me, mind your own business. So I happen to like the dogs. I just don't like the relationship between the dogs and Joel, because Joel is a firm believer in not training his dogs, just loving them. But going back to your mother, forgive her. I don't know how old are you and how old is she, and just understand that she is having her own issues, and she's your mother, and you don't have to be in ecstasy, but you can be nice and forgive. And I'm not one of those to give the other cheek, but I still think you should.
Carm, final questions from me. Do you know what starts tonight?
Tonight is Friday night. What starts tonight? No,
The World Series.
Oh, I didn't know.
Do you know who's playing in the World Series?
No.
The Los Angeles, your daughter-in-law's hometown Dodgers versus the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm conflicted because, we covered Dan Markel. He grew up in Toronto. Phil is a bit of a father figure to me. He's a diehard Blue Jays fan.
You can cover both, then one of them will win.
I'm going to root for the Blue Jays. And I'm going to say it right here at 1:37:45 of the show. The Blue Jays are going to shock the world, and they're going to beat the Dodgers. Carm in the World Series.
New York, right?
Yeah. Carm, another question for you. Massive betting scandal was uncovered yesterday. They've arrested an NBA coach, a player right here in Miami. They were faking injuries and doing things along. This was at the behest of the La Cosa Nostra, the mafia.
Oh, they're the Italian mafia.
Yeah, they're the real mafia.
Yeah, Cosa Nostra. You know what is Cosa Nostra mean?
No, I have no idea, to be honest. No.
Cosa is our case, I think it means.
If anyone knows the definition of Cosa Nostra, let us know. But
because I will make up. If I don't know what it means, I'll make it up.
Carm, let me just ask you this question. These are players who are making multi-million dollars a year. This one player from Miami faked an injury because you can bet on anything. And then knowing that he told the people that he was going to be injured, they could bet on his particular performance. And they put down $200,000 in bets, made more than that because they were tipped off by the player. And then they caught the player and these people counting the money at his house. But this is a guy with a multi-million-dollar contract. My point is, it goes back to my original question. Why is no one happy? Why is it always got to be something else?
Why is it never enough?
Final question. Michael Jordan, do you know who he is?
Yes, that I know.
I found this interesting. He's the greatest basketball player, in my opinion, of all time. Also the most clutch basketball player. Well, he hadn't played basketball, and he said he hadn't picked up a
What
ball
about it?
he hadn't picked up a ball in like 10 plus
he's
years.
buffering.
Can you hear me, Carm? Thank
No,
God.
I didn't, because you were buffering.
You're buffering. So Carm, Michael Jordan, he's made many game-winning shots in the finals of the NBA, but he hadn't picked up a ball in 10 years. And he said that he went to rent a house from a guy, and the guy happened to have a basketball court from who he's renting from. Why he's renting, I have no idea. And he said he has not been more nervous in his entire life than when the homeowner asked him to throw a free throw. And so he took one free throw. And do you think he made it or missed?
Missed.
Made it. Swish. Didn't even hit the rim. He said he has never been more nervous for a free throw shot. He's notoriously competitive. Do you believe that? Because he had made free throws and things to win championships. Do you believe when he says he was more nervous for this one shot?
Yeah, I believe.
Grateful says La Cosa Nostra is an Italian phrase meaning our thing and refers to the Sicilian mafia.
I didn't think it still existed.
Carm, any final thoughts today as I leave you? I'm literally going to have...
Okay, may the force be with all of you. And as usual, I had a good time.
What if I don't send the check to Uncle Sam? What happens?
He's provoking me now, because yesterday I told him not to procrastinate, because the interest they charge you on unpaid bills are astronomical, and it's okay to support Uncle Sam, but don't support them that much.
Let me just say one last thing, because I'm enraged that Josh Shapiro has a book coming out. The book that I actually wrote without what do you call that? What do you call someone who writes a ghostwriter? He has a ghostwriter guaranteed. My unghostwrited book.
He's smart. That you cannot take away from him.
Look at this. I feel bad. At Black Widow, I have not talked to her in weeks. Black Widow, it's amazing to see you. I think you're back at it work-wise. So I think that's why we're seeing less of you.
I love you, Black Widow, and I'm not afraid of her.
Carm, you'll be happy to know that Conor McGregor, who's a fellow countryman,
I know who you are.
He now says he has found Jesus, and he's on a spiritual journey. Do you have a by the way, Ned Smith, who's always funny, Shapiro's book? Look at this, Carm. Shapiro's book is entitled "Read Joel's Book." Carm, do you have a final thought? Thanks for that.
Yes.
You have
my final thought is let's say I love you, America, and let's get off.
Love you, America. Love you, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's always shady in Philadelphia. Love you, Black Widow. Love you, Ned Smith. Love you, all the OGs.
Love
all
Greenberg.
The mods. Steve Cohen, Space Coast, the COE. Fred, Ethel, my kids, not in any specific order.
Okay,
and
Joel.
We'll see. Sunday night, I think we're going to do a Dateline update show that won't be quite as insane as this show. Let's get justice for Ellen Greenberg. It's always shady in Philadelphia.